Good morning. Fish, the Beach Bum Investor, with your cryptocurrency report and discussion for the 16th of December 2017. Getting towards the end of the year. Just going to post up in Discord and let the guys know we're here.
Good morning.
And stop
Fish.
my echo going. Sorry about that. It's all quiet in the Discord group this morning. I guess everyone's just sick of making money. The only one to speak was Agent Smith, who was having a big cheer about Komodo. Of course, Agent Smith and I got into that a while ago, preparing ourselves for the Monese ICO, the first decentralized ICO coming up soon. Yeah, so Komodo's been one of the absolutely huge gainers overnight. I'm just going to do a refresh and give you the whole market cap. Might be a second. Yeah, so up at 539 billion. The market cap. Trade volumes around 32 billion, and BTC dominance at 55%. So getting down to Komodo, which is one of the significant gainers in the last 24 hours, it's run up to $4.50 and up 21.59% in the last 24 hours alone. Yeah, so really, really good for people who have purchased early on Komodo, looking to get into that Monese ICO. Obviously, you can choose to either take some profit now or almost double your investment, or more than that if you bought at that $2 mark into the Monese ICO. So that's good to see. Let's go back to the top of the market and have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been pretty strong. It's got some nice growth patterns now. Reminds me similar of the Litecoin growth patterns before it actually went like mooning. It's only a short period of time, so we've got to see it consolidating a bit more before I'm prepared to call another bull run. But it's looking nice. It's up at $17,715 US. Just going to have a look at the oil and see how it's trending in the last hour. Fairly steady. Yeah, it's up 4% in the last 24 hours and down 0.04% in the last hour, so fairly steady. Ethereum's doing well, just cracked over the $700 mark again. $700.10, up 4% as well. It is up 50% though in the last 7 days, so good to see. It's good buying if you bought on the dips there yesterday. I thought it had retraced significantly, and in a bullish market, it was probably people going to be looking to make that quick 10%, which they certainly did if they bought around the 630 mark yesterday, which I saw it as low as. Litecoin's dropped below the $300 mark, only just 298.47. It's still up 10% in the last 24 hours, so it must have dipped quite significantly at one stage yesterday. Still up 117% in the last 7 days. Hey, Ripple's been really, really strong. It's only down 0.74% after a massive, massive bull run. 205% up in the last 7 days. I can't believe these figures we're calling. Hey, IOTA's come back. It's someone said yesterday on the show, I can't remember who called it. They said, hey, IOTA's getting pretty close to buy time on the Fish and Archie sequence. So whoever made that call, well done, because it's come up 8.64% in the last 24 hours. It's good to see. I'll go down to a couple of others that we are keeping an eye on. Neo's been super strong as well. It's popped back up over $50, $50.69, up 5% in the last 24 hours. Funny thing is 4.79% of that has come in the last hour alone. One of the interesting announcements to come out, and I had a look more into it, is Neo hash puppies. They're going basically for the direct, proving that they're more scalable than Ethereum approach, which is interesting. Should be good to see how that goes. Whether people will be as eager to get their hands on some digital puppies as they were some digital cats. It'll be interesting. QTUM, one we identified a long, long time ago. We don't talk about too often, but we called buys on it several times at a third of this value, even less. Even all the way up to $12, I think we were still calling buys. It's had 55% gains in the last 24 hours. Now, I haven't checked the news if that's news driven. It brings it 140% up in the last 7 days. So QTUM has been a real solid one. Hi, Fish. Another nice day down on the Goldie, mate. It's beautiful. Really nice. Cloud's starting to come over a little bit, but it is really, really nice. Hey, Grinkers. How are you, man? Good to see that Gladius ICO selling out. Hey, Joe. I always want to sing the song whenever I say, hey, Joe. Yeah, so QTUM. You guys, did anyone get in on that? We talked about it a while ago. I said buy orders like several times and just got greedy and never Never actually picked up any QTUM, but I always liked the project. I was given a tip a long time ago from a guy in Korea named Seong Min, who said, Fish, QTUM challenge Neo. That's what he said to me. And it's certainly getting close to that point with a $2.2 billion market cap now. So impressive. Omasco, OMG. It's actually one I did my trade video on in Binance. So that's actually been my most popular video. Cracked the 5,000 views, stoked with that. And I'm going to make another one because that was perhaps even a little bit complicated. So to simplify it even a bit further and to go a bit further into how to take your profit, how to trade in US dollar value on Binance, which is what a lot of people are interested in. So yeah, I can make that fairly simple. $1.15. I did say that I can't even remember where I bought it. I think it was like at 680 and 580. It was either 680 and 580 or 680 and 780. I can't remember. Either way, I don't care. $14.15 this morning, up 28% in the last 24 hours and 63% in the week. A lot of that's happened in the last hour, actually, 16.6% in the last hour. I sold out a while ago, but I'm not a fan anymore. They're changing from Solidity and doing pretty much what Now did a year ago. Yeah, Joe, that's an interesting point of view. But I think that you're going to see that a lot in the crypto economy, mate. If someone, if one coin develops something successfully, other coins will look to copy it. Like Now did with PIVX. Sorry, not Now did with PIVX, like Ethereum's done with PIVX. I was speaking to Vitalik the other day. He said, "Oh, Fish, I'm sorry about, coming into this proof of stake world that you guys are in." I said, "It's all good, Vitalik, you're all right." And that conversation never happened for those of you unaware. Yeah, but I think we're all in sort of test phase and still trying to figure out and develop the best forms of our technology. So I think when something's successful, and we're talking about basically extra programming languages, is I guess what you're talking about there, Joe. I see it as a positive move, regardless of whether Neo did it a year ago or not. I've always said that people need choice. So, yeah, I'm still pretty bullish on Omasco. I don't know if I'd go out buying it today after these parabolics, man. You know me. I like to wait for the dips, look for the double-figure retracements, not the double-figure growths to get on back on. But it has been a solid one. Really solid. Hey, Tron's been really strong. 325% in 7 days for Tron. 325%. Incredible. The CEO came out and tweeted about being added to additional exchanges. So that's been driving some serious price action. Lisk above 10, but it's dropped back 6% in the last 24 hours, so almost 7% actually. Just having a look for other ones. Steam's still solid. Got back up, it's up over that $2 mark. Stoked about that. Did dip as low as 86 cents or something. I bought a few more. So I was pretty happy with that. But Steam dollars has been the crazy one. Last time I checked, it was up over $10. Let me just type it in because it's not a top market cap coin, but Steam dollars is one of the currencies produced through the Steam platform. It's currently trading at $10.60 per Steam dollar. 4 weeks ago, you could have bought it for $1 per Steam dollar. So crazy. TNC said, stuck at Harbour Town with the missus, just want to go to the beach. I haven't even been down yet today. Didn't sleep that well last night, so I'm really tired. But I might head down after as well. Splash around, wake myself up a bit. Harbour Town, big outlet shopping centre up at what's the suburb called? Not Labrador. I can't remember what the suburb's called. That's terrible. I've done the Gold Coast my whole life. All right, let's keep having a look. See what else we can find that's done well in the last little bit. Yeah, so Steam dollars was one that was absolutely crazy, which is good for us Steamians who are posting. Like I had a post yesterday or the day before that made $8, right? And 4 of that will be in Steam dollars. So 4 times 10 is $40. I got $40 for one post on Steam. So not bad. Hey, Ethercept. How are you, man? Verge is doing well. Let's have a look at Verge since Ethercept's in. Wilkie actually admitted that he was going to have to buy Ethercept beer on the back of Verge because he said he literally didn't even study it. He just bought it on the back of the fact that he trusted Ethercept's read on that one, and it's gone up again. Yeah, it's up to 1.9 cents now, pressing the $2. I'm going to call it psychological resistance because I think it still could find resistance there. A lot of people are using Satoshi and saying, well, no, it's already cracked the 100 Satoshi mark, so we're in the clear. We're not going to get a dip. So it's interesting. A lot of people are actually starting to think, oh, well, maybe Ethercept wasn't completely crazy calling a dollar Verge. So we'll see what happens. But obviously awesome gains from where, almost 4x from where Ethercept really did start saying, look, guys, it's a good buy. So a big cheers for everyone. I was actually in it before that, but I think there's quite a few people who owe you a bit of a beer on that one, Ethercept. Well done. Going back to the main market now. Oh, bigger orders. Okay. Yeah, that's right. For Harbour Town. Hey, IOTA's just come back over the $4 mark. I just refreshed again, up a little bit more. Litecoin's back over 300. Market's looking a little bit more bullish in the last hour. Interesting. See what else we got here. ARK's one that's been creeping along. Had that big run up and has consolidated through this week, which is really good to see after a big run up. I think it's got a decent future. I'm holding a bit of ARK. Quite like it. Bridging technology. Golem's doing well, up to 41 cents after Fishy picked some up at 29 cents. I got sick about talking about good buys on the shows and not doing it. So on Golem, like straight after the show that day, I went and bought it at 29 cents. Is that right, Joe? Joe's saying that John McAfee was talking about privacy coins yesterday, so SafeX, Verge, all mooned. He must have missed out PivX, mate, because we only went up by 0.5%. But, strong growth patterns for PivX since those $2.80 lows in very, very recent times, so it's good to be holding. Factum's done excellent, $31.79. That's got to be fairly close to all-time highs, up 49% in the last week. I can't remember how low we called it. Eternity is absolutely mooning. Eternity's one I picked up at ICO. So at $1.25 a pop for Eternity, I've made good money. I think I've 2.5x from ICO from there. I'll have to check how many coins I got, more price I got to make. It could be more. So that's good to see. Eternity reminds me, like I haven't looked into it for ages because it was 7 months ago when I first got into the economy, one of the first ICOs that I got into. And it was the first one that I heard about talking about like off-chain solutions to scalability. So I thought it was really interesting and got involved in that for a small amount actually, but it's done quite well. 10x has kicked well above the $2 mark, which is good to see, $2.68. I still think that's good value long term. Power Ledger had a run up yesterday and it's sort of consolidated, only down 2%. So 67 cents on Power Ledger. Walton Coin, $8.22, up another 3%. So continuing to grow. Hi, Mark. Ethercept suggests that it was his 43 Twitter followers that caused the Verge price to explode and not John McAfee at all. I agree. Navcoin's done well. That's another privacy coin, $2.31. So yeah, I mean that trend it's certainly been a strong month for privacy coins. PivX, Monero, Navcoin, Verge, privacy coins doing well. So let's hope that continues. Leafs up 1-0, 1 zip. Go Leafs, go. Good to see. Back on the right side of the ledger. Chainlink's one that's done really well. Guys, I started identifying this only maybe a month ago at 15 cents. And I got in at 15, like right on the lows, 15.8, something like that. It's up to 30.6 cents now. it's gained another 2% in the last 24 hours, 20% for the 7-day period. I think that's a good one. I think that's one of my favorites going into. Like Vitalik basically came out himself and said, what are all these smart contracts doing? They're not like doing anything in the real world. And so I think Chainlink are actually really considering that with their Oracle network. So I think they could do well. He missed PIVX and Dash, did he, Joe? Oh, well. We'll allow that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we're going after McAfee's approval. Maybe we are. I don't know. Did it? ETC, Ethereum Classic. I've never really bought any, Mark. I've never kept an eye on it or anything. The news coming up, but Ethereum Classic, whoa, certainly has had a bump since last time I checked it, 31.92. Yeah, you bought it at 17. Well, that's about the. I think I bought it at around, like when I first got into the economy, I was just sort of mucking around and I bought it around 14. I think I probably sold it to you at 17. So you did better out of it than I did. Hey, Kev, how are you? What's up, mate? Oh, most of my good coins are doing quite well. Komodo in particular, Eternity's doing well. PIVX up since yesterday. My account's all-time highs again. Every day I check in with you, it's all-time highs. Crazy. You bought some Monero yesterday. I think Monero's a good long-term buy. It's had such a big run-up recently, I haven't bought in any more. I bought it at $50 when I first got into the economy. Not a lot of it, but it was actually 0.7 of a coin. There you go. I had 0.7 of a Monero when I first got into the economy. I put $35 into it and I've just held it. So yeah, that $35 is now $210 or $220. But I find it hard to buy anymore when I've had big run-ups like that. Mark G, it's long term. I think it's a good project. I really do. But Mark's asking about Power Ledger. I think it's a good long-term project, but I think you've got to be realistic about the stage of development as well. So the thing is that they're not going to have a working blockchain until 2000, or a working product. It's not going to be in action until 2019. Having said that, it's only 12 months away, right? And as soon as they get a working product, who knows? Half of Australia could sign up for, Power Ledger style system, because we really do need a solution over here to spiraling energy costs. And we've got to be one of the most sun-kissed countries in the world. So solar works pretty well for us, and the ability to have that power shared and at a much cheaper rate by cutting out the middleman. I think it's a good long-term project, and I think if they get it right, you're talking billions. You up the total company valuation, because I don't know what the total spend on electricity per year is in Australia, but I would estimate, let's say, probably 7 million households spending an average of, this is just for the residential sector too, not including commercial sector, but residential sector, you've probably got about 7 million households. This is rough figures, and you've probably got an average spend of $2,000 a year. So do the figures on that. It's $14 billion a year, just from the residential sector, not including business or anything like that. So if you can grab even 1/10 of that income, that's $1.4 billion a year. It should value Power Ledger minus its expenses, let's say, at roughly $6 or $7 billion. Yeah, and they could achieve that pretty quickly if they're offering a really cheap. So yeah, I still think it's early as well, Ethercept. That's why I'm saying 2019. But yeah, I got some early because for the same reason that Ethercept's also said here. And he said, then again, look at EOS. And what he's referring to there is the ICO not finishing until June 2018. So we're 6 months off that, and it's run up well before that. Oh, Paddy Austin in with the research figures. Average use in Australia. How are you, Paddy? That's just average use in Australia is 5,817 kilowatt hours per household. I wonder how I went with the number of households. I just guessed like an average of 3 people per household sort of thing. So I went 7 million households. I wonder how I went with that. But the point is just on those rough figures I did, it's pretty easy to see that even 1/10 of that energy market being captured by something like Power Ledger could be massively profitable, even 1%. Hey, Mohammed, missed you too, bro. How you been? Abu Jubara. We've got 3 Mohammeds, so I should really start using the other name because then I can identify all. We've got Muhammad Ahmed, we've got Muhammad Abu Jubara, and I can't remember the third one. I'll know it when I see it. Mark G, at 68 cents, I'm going to throw an ether at Power and HODL. Yeah, man. I think you might to see real returns on it. I honestly think it'll be some time, but I don't think it's a bad buy, like a bad long-term buy. So you always want to try and buy the dips, but they can be difficult to come by in this economy. I mean, honestly, there will be people who are mucking around and buying Power Ledger without even knowing what it is because it has the name Power. So you just have to be, and it's a high market cap coin, so it must be secure, right? That's how newbies quite often think. Are we going to rename the ether to Ethercept? Do you reckon Ethercept? I don't know about that. I'm getting down to some other ones that have been doing well. Substratum. Not so much in the last 24 hours, and 20% in the last week is strong growth, but goodness gracious me. How well has Substratum done for us since ICO? Does that make you more bullish about Gladius, which again is using shared resources, or Qlink? By the way, the team will be coming on soon. My Telegram is down, and for some reason, when I ask it to send the code to my phone, it's not working. So this is my fault. I'm out of contact with the Qlink team. I'll try and get that sorted out today. Yeah, absolutely. But Mohammed said, Mohammed Abu Jabara has said that we need to reach McAfee to tweet about PIVX. Screw him. He mentioned Ripple and it got boomed. I'm a big fan of people just like discovering PIVX the same way I did. Like, it wasn't really Shield to me. I was looking at proof of stake coins. I'd had a really, really bad time with Chaincoin. I got involved in the wrong Slack group, thinking it was the actual official Slack group for Chaincoin, and it was what I can only describe as a pump and dump group. So that got me really disillusioned, and then I've found my way and realized, okay, you got to be careful and get onto the right groups and that. And I went back to my proof of stake stuff, and PIVX was actually the first stuff I ever talked about. And I went and just made a video and then jumped on the Slack group there, and next thing you know, I was working away. But I kind of like that self-discovery without someone shoving it down my throat. I found my way to PIVX. It was kind of like, I don't know, if you believe in fate, meant to be. So yeah, man, I think people will, find their way to a coin that's doing pretty impressive things in the economy. I mean, we have talked about privacy, and we have talked about proof of stake being popular ways forward, using Ethereum as an example, moving to proof of stake, and using the several anonymous coins or coins with anonymous features that have done well in the past month. So if you look at the combination of those two things, proof of stake, zero coin protocol, first coin to combine those two, I think people will find their way to PIVX. So I don't think we need it shielded by huge players like McAfee. We can probably rely on the little fishies just to let people know that it is a really good quality project and a quality coin. For someone who looks at coins all day, looks at a lot of coins. Okay. Let's have a look. Mohammed said, I am whitelisted in 3 big ICOs. One will be open in 30 minutes. Bread ICO. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm whitelisted in a couple. Subseb's cheap still, Kev. Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at if they can achieve it, like it's. I think it's still at alpha test. It is because I signed up for the beta testing on Sub, so it's still at alpha testing. But if they can achieve it, if you can get this decentralized web hosting, it's got to be worth a fortune, surely. I've always said, what are the GoDaddies and the Amazon Web Servers of the world worth? A lot of money. If you can provide a more effective, and more efficient, and therefore cheaper option, I think people will jump on it, especially in the digital world, because they'll be onto it. People who are into computers will be onto the fact that they can now web host. They can get their web hosting services much cheaper. Ripple is okay for me. It has useful function. Some people don't want to deal with private keys. Banks are still useful for those people. Yeah, I never said Ripple was a bad project. Just not one that I'm personally excited about putting money into, Kev. But yeah, definitely a good project. And you're absolutely right. Banks will be around for a lot longer yet. We're not gonna see a complete dump of fiat anytime in the next few years. The financial sector and the banking sector still has a lot more money and power than what the crypto economy does. So, we do have to take all our gains with a grain of salt and be proud of that, but continue to work and develop to be an actual really, really viable alternative to banking for the masses, not just for the tech savvy. Stellar Lumens $1 a year from now is Mark's question. Interesting thing about Stellar is it has a non-profit component. Yeah, Mark, it could do, man. Stellar Lumens has got a lot of supporters. Fork of Ripple is my understanding. I'd forgotten completely about that. I believe I had read it, but I sort of forgot about it. It could do. I mean, what's the price at the moment in Stellar Lumens? I guess my biggest question with Stellar Lumens is if Ripple are taking the banks, what is Stellar Lumens market? What's their target market? Who's going to be using Stellar Lumens? So I'd need to take a look at that. But I know they had. You want to be careful about saying agreements and arrangements, because we saw that the one coming out about IOTA was a rumor and nothing else, and that I'm not sure whether the Stellar Lumens one was actually confirmed. Here it is, XLM Stellar. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's certainly possible. We've seen market coins this high in the market cap, 5x. We saw Litecoin 6x in no time from that sort of market cap. So yeah, it is possible, depending on how they work towards mass adoption and where they're going to be accepted and that sort of thing. I'll get him to mention PivX. Can't say whether it'll be positive and negatives, but I can get to him. Ethercept can get to McAfee. Cool. If XLM is $1, I will buy everyone a case of beer. Yeah, serious? Why, have you got some Ethercept, or are you saying it won't get there? I'd be interested. Yeah, McAfee likes his security coins. Yeah, Mohammed, we were talking about. What about BAT? Yeah, I think it's a good project. Basic attention token. I was staring at it at 0.15 for a long time, and now 0.23. I don't have it yet, but it seems to be a solid coin. I think so. I think there's going to be a couple of projects coming in as competitors, and a lot of people say, "Oh, does that take away their value?" And I say, no. It actually highlights the use, the need for the use of blockchain in that particular industry. And I think advertising is one of them. I think it's a good. I think decentralizing the whole advertising game could be a really, really good thing. I mean, in terms of not having ads shoved down your throat every time you search for something at Google and things like that. I think at least if the ads are coming through, I've read a lot of different models that are more sort of discovery-based advertising, which is really cool. I can't remember the name of the project, but there is one in particular. I also got into AdX. AdX is one I was pretty interested in. So yeah, I think there's use cases for a basic attention token as well. Ripple, what's that? Oh, that's dollars, exactly. Sia Coin, another Transactional currency, 0.61 sats right now. XLM is a fork of Ripple. Jeb McCaleb founded both. He also was the Mt. Gox founder, though. Yeah. Seacoin, isn't that file storage? I thought Seacoin was about file storage on blockchain. Is that not right, Mark G? Didn't know it was a transactional currency. I thought Seacoin and Storj were two bigger players in the sort of file storage area of blockchain. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, it is. Ethercep's confirming that. Thanks, Ethercep. Yeah, Seacoin and Storj. I think they've both got potential because, you know, I think Vitalik knows this space and he knows what he's a visionary, and I don't think anyone can argue that. And he's looking forward again and saying one of the underutilized cases for the blockchain at the moment is being used in file storage. So Seacoin and Storj, I've said for a long time, are probably fairly good bets. I haven't had a look at the charts on either of those recently. Always look to buy the dips, guys. Use your Fibonacci sequence. I bet you since I started mentioning it to you, the Fibonacci sequence, a few of you have noticed how often that works. It does work all the time. It works really, really regularly. It's not perfect, but it'll get you into profit without a whole lot of mucking around. Ethercep said, Stella, oh, okay, Lumens is the fourth thing I've ever bought. Big bag, cool. Not counting Icon, probably my best investment. Yeah, cool. Oh, have you guys seen Icon, by the way? Can we take 1 second to take a look at that? Because holy moly, that's capped us well over $1 million if it holds this price in our investment crew. Well over $1 million. $2.56, guys. Now, if I'm correct, that puts us at, what did we buy it at? We bought it at 10 cents or less, and we haven't even got our bonus points involved in that yet. That will literally make our investment crew over $1 million if that price holds up. Wow. So it could be a Merry Christmas for all of us on that one. It's been really, really cool. Muhammad Ahmed's in. G'day, Muhammad Ahmed. EMC2 got news on the 19th. What do you think? I hadn't heard about the news. Einsteinium is EMC2, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a look, see if I can find the news. What are you dropping on us, Ahmed? Let's have a look. Einsteinium up 20%, 20.9%. It's been such a strong performer in recent times. Market cap is actually at $400 million. Crazy. Almost $500 million on Einsteinium. Have a look at that. Ooh, that's serious parabolic. So what I'm going to do is just pop into there is actually an announcements tab over on the right-hand side here that you can look at for announcements coming out about the content. I usually find it best to go to the website, but sometimes if you hit on this announcement thing, you can see some announcements coming out. Let's have a look. Einsteinium. I can't actually see any current announcement. I'll have to have a look into it. Oh, yes, on Seacoin, cool. Yeah, CME futures start soon at Fish Thoughts. Ethercept, I think we're going to see volatility probably. It depends on volumes for CME trading, right? Because CME is massive monetary exchange. And I think that if you see high volumes, I think it'll push the price up. So I don't think, high volumes don't always drive price upwards. But I think in this case, if you see a lot of speculation and a lot of contracts for futures on Bitcoin being filled, I think it'll be upward, Bitcoin itself and perhaps the economy as a whole. I think if the volumes are low, you could either see, look, I can't see the market really correcting heavily at this stage without like some sort of major news, like a complete ban or a hacking of Bitcoin or something like that. So I don't know. I think that if the volumes are low, that you could see a trickle off and a slight downward trend. I think people will look to those volumes. They have in traditional markets, and I think they'll look to those markets as a gauge. So if the volumes are low, perhaps downward. The volumes are high, upward. That's my guess. Ethercept, I can't be sure, man. It is a tough call. I think if there's a lot of volume as well, it will bring volatility. So I think it will be upward trending, but it will be super volatile. We'll see what happens. Except Icon, I'm a hodl, is going to be like Stratus, Waves, Lisk, maybe better. I think it'll be better than all three of those, to be honest. I'm putting it up there with Neo. So there's my prediction. Probably a bit early, but we need some testing. Some more coins released on top of Icon, that sort of thing. The same thing I was saying about Neo. And when I say it's going to be up there with Neo, so I mean eventually, when it's had some ICOs, it's been proven as a DApp platform and a fundraiser in terms of being able to launch ICOs, that sort of thing. So Ethercept reckons $10 in a month for Icon. The way this market is, and as good as Icon is, I won't say no. Ethercept predicted a long time ago when it was sitting at $1.50, it would be the fastest to $10 coin. With this sort of market, with this sort of circulating supply, anyway, in the history of crypto, and it certainly could be. Koreans are massive in the space, so Korean blockchain from scratch, the Korean Ethereum. You saw you guys know it wasn't all Chinese money that drove Neo after Neo being dubbed the Chinese Ethereum, right? That was actually Korean money. A lot of Korean money that came into that market, as well as some Chinese and Japanese and US and the rest of it. But there was a very, very significant portion of Korean won in the move on Neo. So, yeah. That's an interesting thought, actually. I hadn't even thought that far ahead. Is it possible that with Icon coming out, people will be looking to take profit on Neo and move it into Icon? Is that a possibility? Because if a lot of the Neo holders are actually Korean, will they not prefer to move into the Korean Ethereum rather than the Chinese Ethereum? That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that before. Love to hear your thoughts, guys. Dave Wilkie said he'd retire if it hits $10. I think it will, man. So I think you'll be retiring soon. And what's all this crap about you owe Ethercept a beer? I'm so dirty at you at the moment if you think you owe Ethercept a beer, but not the guy who introduced you to crypto. You pretty much ridiculed me the night we first started talking about it. You owe me a beer, Wilkie. A big, big beer. Mark said, sorry for the newbie question. All my charts are on Blockfolio are in sats. I bought EOS at 1.14 and it's 7.5x, but on the charts it's only about 2.7x. Bought it at 18,000 sat, and it's now at 48,500. How do you make sense of this? Mark, it's a really good question, mate. It is a really good question. I think we need a video on this, and I think I'm going to integrate this into a Binance training video that I'm going to do, because different people have different opinions on whether you should trade in Satoshi or if you're trading in Ethereum or Litecoin, the relative breakups of those coins, or whether you should actually be trading against the US dollar. I tend to use both. I use a bit of both, to be honest, depending on how the market's trending. So it's hard to make it relative. The best way to do it, if you really want to keep an eye on it, is you can go back and actually check the timestamp of when you bought it. You'll be able to see the SAT mark of when you bought it. You'll be able to see, but you won't be able to see US dollar marks. But you can see the day and the date you bought it. And then what you can do is go into CoinMarketCap, or you can go onto whatever platform you're using on the actual exchange. you can go back and see what actual best is coin market cap. So if you go back to the day, you'll get within a few, as long as it wasn't a super volatile day, you'll get a rough figure of what you bought it at, because you can see it on the daily. So you can actually get the timestamp off the exchange and go, okay, I bought it at that many Satoshi, but how much was that in US dollars? I got no idea. Okay, what day did I buy it? It was the 28th of June. Okay, go back to the 28th of June. Bang, it was at $1. Now it's at $3. Okay, I have 3x. So that's one way you can do it. The other way is you can keep a spreadsheet and actually write your dollar cost average, which is not a bad idea. If you want to get real technical with it, keeping a spreadsheet with your dollar cost average is a good idea. So whenever you buy it, you write down the dollar price of what you paid. It's not a bad call. And it's not a newbie question, man. Mark, the thing is that people muck around without actually, without asking the question, they get burnt. So it's good to ask the question. I'm catching up. Wilkie's buying me a mail order wife to say thank you. Well, no, thank you, mate, but no, thank you. The way I look at Icon is this. They are a platform that competes with all other platforms, and they have a lock on all of Korea for future ICOs. And we know how Korea love crypto. Not just for ICOs that don't even exist yet, Etherset, but also ICOs that are going to come from companies that are already existing and big players within their industries in Korea. So yeah, I think it's really, really cool. Russian bride, no, guys, I'm quite capable of finding a girl. Thank you, Ahmed. They got on their Twitter account. They posted a few days back saying huge news on 19. Oh, okay, man. I don't know what the news is likely to be, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But that's awesome, Ahmed. Thank you for dropping that on us. So Einsteinium, for those of you interested, have news coming out on the 19th. I do find that when huge news is tweeted about, it can often be not that huge. It happened with Neo. I can't remember was it the DevCon? Like, they came out and basically said, we got massive news coming out about Neo. And it was like, okay, we're having a dev conference and the winner gets $500,000. And everyone's like, well, it's good, but, and the price just went blah, 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 after the actual announcement. So perhaps look for the same thing if you're looking to get into Einsteinium. Perhaps there could be a run up with that announcement already made. We've seen 20% gains today. So now wait for the news and see if you can get it cheaper than you can today. It's a good experiment. Look, if you're desperate to get in, I can't tell you when to buy. I just know that this economy has traditionally been a buy the rumor, sell the fact economy. It goes towards that more than any other economy I've seen. So any other market I've seen. So yeah, I would definitely, me personally, I would look for a dip after the news comes out. It seems to have run up already on the announcement. Well, it's not on any exchanges at the moment, Mark G. Well, it is, but it's only futures markets on HitBTC. They'll definitely be releasing on at least the exchange that the guy who founded Icon is part of, be at least that exchange. But I've suggested before, the amount of running they did before ICO, I think they'll be well ready and probably already have the deals set in place with the exchanges ready to go. And I don't think it matters to many of us because I'm really considering hodling quite a lot. Like Wilkie said, what if it goes proof of stake? What if they go proof of stake like Ethereum? And we've got all these coins that are worth a fortune, and then we're going to earn extra coins on top of that. I thought it's a really valid point, Wilkie. And you don't make many of them, so. Wilkie said, ha ha ha, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horses pump and dump. Do you think Tether is a good coin to hedge your portfolio risk? Shaquille, welcome. Shaquille, I think Tether is one of the most misunderstood coins in the economy. In part, I did think about this. How can it fluctuate from 98 cents to $1.06 when it's represented by $1? Each coin is represented by $1. But then I did think about it, and I thought, if I was really big on getting my fiat out of the account, like if I was, I'm more of, I just pull some fiat out when it runs up, right? But if I wanted to do that and then back in and do that and back in and do that and back in, it'd, it would be saving me a lot of fees in terms of getting my fiat into the economy and out of the economy if I just put it into US dollar tether. My concern is I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories about US dollar tether. Do they actually have $1 US for every crypto that's represented? Or are they just doing the whole, well, we just hope everyone doesn't withdraw at the same time? And that is a possibility. There's also some interesting volumes around the buyback of the Bitfinex coin after the Bitfinex exchange got hacked. And the problem with that is that Bitfinex actually either owned part of or had a big holding in, or they started, I can't remember. So there seems to be a bit of a conflict. Not so much a conflict of interest, but just suspicion around the fact that the volumes were very uncertain at the times of that Bitfinex coin buyback that essentially compensated customers for being hacked. So I prefer to just trade alts into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. That's what I do. And as more markets opened up, like I do Binance trading as well now, because I actually use the Binance coin. There's a Binance market. So as more of those markets open up, I'll do more of that. And I think that's the way to go. Because I just have a feeling that one day US dollar tether might get exposed. And at that point, it all falls apart. And to me, that's like a risk you can take with any currency. But with other currencies, you have opportunity for big gains. Whereas US dollar tether, you'll get to $1.06 if someone doesn't realize what it is and pays that for it. But you're really maxing out your profit at 6%. So for me, no, I'd rather move it into Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin for more trading. But you got to make your own decisions. A lot of people do use US dollar tether. I just suggest you do a bit of a research around it and some of the suspicion around it before you actually go using it as a guarantee. Mark said the other thing is if you set a lure on a coin, you can only set the price in sats. So if I put a lure on EOS at 30k sats and BTC bombs down to to $5,000 US tonight, I would massively overpay for EOS. Yep. It's perhaps something that will change as more exchanges open up, offering you that just purely fiat based, like the purely fiat based exchange prices and not using Satoshis. I think that's possible because I think a lot of people are going to want that. They're going to say, no, I want to invest in Icon, not Bitcoin, or not Ethereum, or not Litecoin. I want Icon. And when it gets to this price, I want dollars. I think that's going to be more demanded. And that's proven by the question from Shaquila before about US dollar tether. People are craving that option. Actually, funnily enough, is Cryptopia have New Zealand dollar tether. I'm sure we'll see Australian dollar tether soon enough. I haven't really looked heavily into it, Kev. Kev's asked, is Einsteinium a legitimate project? I never really looked heavily into it, man. Actually, I never looked at it at all. So is there a reason you're asking the question, Kev? Have you heard something? G'day, Rocket. Wilkie, when an announcement is made, usually it's factored in on the lead up and is almost likely to dump after. Yeah, that's exactly right, Wilkie. How many times have we seen it, dude? We saw it. What did we say with Lisk? Remember the announcement about the announcement? Lisk ran up to $11 before the announcement, dumped all the way down to $7.50. So, we've seen it on way more coins than just that as well. Neo, announcement, actual announcement comes out. Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, you got props, Rocket. Rocket wants props on Ripple and Tron. You got it, props. Tether charts are great, says Kev. Potcoin to the moon, probably will. If Bitcoin crashes, would Tether go up? Um, it does, Shaquille, and the reason is because people will pay $1.01 on the dollar to move their money quickly rather than trying to wait for an exchange to clear it into fiat. And the other thing is quite often, if you're only looking for a temporary hold into fiat, then moving it into fiat, waiting for it to clear to your bank account, and then moving it back into the crypto economy, not only requires about 7 or 8% worth of fees or what, it takes time. So if you trust US dollar tether and you're always intending to put it back into crypto, it's probably not a bad option. But I just have had too many ifs, ifs and whats and unsureties about tether to use that option for myself. I very rarely pull massive amounts of fiat out. I'm not really pulling massive amounts out or in at this point in time because I set myself up 6 months ago for all this. So now I've got plenty to play with. I take out little bits at a time as I hit profit. But if Bitcoin crash, would tether go up? Yes, it should slightly, as people are happy to pay $1.01 pay 1% on the dollar to get to safety, or perceived, I should say perceived safety. So yes, it potentially would. Kev Zasika, yep, we've had that one. Adnan Haq, how's it going, Fish? I'm really good, man. I'm a little bit tired, actually. I didn't sleep that well last night. I think I need to go for a surf. Just purchased one PETA system. I'm not sure what a PETA system is. PETA. G'day, Superhut Doddle. Good to see you. Komodo's looking awesome. Bovosh. Oh, Bovosh in the house when Komodo's going on a run. Yeah, Bovosh. I was saying I did a stream the other day, man, and I said, Bovosh is super bullish on it. He's the guy, and I was telling everyone he's the guy who does technical analysis in our group, and he's calling 150 by the end of 2018, and I sort of giggled at it. And you know me, man, I've held bloody Komodo since I first actually got it under $1, but I stocked up big on $2, so I'm stoked. And obviously, if it goes to $150 a coin, I'm real stoked. But I was really you do your technical analysis, and the fact you'd renamed yourself on our Discord group as $150 Komodo, I was like, okay, he's really bullish on it. So good to see. Is it worth heading down, Paddy? I haven't even had a look, man. I might just go to splash. You know what it's like, dude. You just need to get wet sometimes. I am feeling like it's one of those afternoons. I'm trying to look. There's not a whole lot of wind around. I don't know. I'll go down to one of either D-Bar or the other place that you mentioned, which is a bit of a secret spot, so I won't say it out loud. Although it wasn't really that secret last International Bodybuilding Day. Apparently there's like 100 people out there. LTE is headed to 1 million, says Super Hut. What's LTE? LTE? It's headed to 1 million? That's a nice conservative estimate there. Do you mean LTC? LT. I'm guessing LTC. Maybe. Anyway, Mark G said, other than Pivex, Navcoin, Dash, Monero, and Verge, what other privacy coins are there? There's plenty of coins with privacy features. I'm sure. Let me just have a quick look at the market cap and see if any stick out to me. All right. Well, Bitcoin's not Ethereum's not necessarily. Ethereum does have privacy features though, right? You can do, I can't remember what it's called. There's some sort of send that you can do. Can someone type that in if they know the name of it? Litecoin's not, IOTA's not that I'm aware of. Dash is not completely anonymous, by the way. That's what the devs tell me at Pivex. Yeah, Zcash is another one. Zcoin is another privacy coin. Zcash and Zcoin, 2 different coins, but both privacy focused. Trying to see what else is here. Tron, this Tilly. They're the major ones off the top of my head. I'm sure there will be others. And a lot of coins are incorporating it now as a feature. So I think we'll see more of it in 2018. Mark G said, I don't want to jinx it, but doesn't it feel like we're due for a large correction? Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like I've sort of hummed and hawed about which way the market's going to go coming into Christmas. Like work's shutting down now for a lot of people. School's finishing. People shopping for Christmas presents and that sort of thing and saving money for Christmas. Is that going to affect the amount that the average punter can actually put into the crypto economy and slow it all down? Will some people actually go, okay, well, now I can take some profit and spend it on Christmas, and that actually eases it off? Or does the fact that everyone gets together at Christmas, a lot more than that, is that going to further drive the talk and how much money people have made? And maybe you should have a go, I like this coin, I like that coin, speculating. Is that going to drive interest in the crypto economy? It's hard to say which way it's going. I think CME trading is your big risk event. We'll see what happens with that, within the next 24 hours, won't we? No, sorry, it's about 48 hours, 72 hours roughly. So we'll see what happens there. If volumes are high on CME trading, I think it's going to be a bullish market. Oh, liking Subby's a fellow surfer. Yeah. Hashtag South Africa, hashtag Costa Rica. Well, I've never surfed in either of those places. Hoping to go over to South Africa. Tanya wanted us to surf there for an event. So I said, I'll come and be your coach and your manager. Bodyboarder coaching a stand-up. That'll send the stand-up world into meltdown. 150 KMD. I didn't buy enough said Ethercept. Yeah, man. I think Paddy's asking me about International Bodyboarding Day. Yeah, apparently it was packed house over at the secret spot across there. D-Bar is poo right now. Just went spearing. Thanks, dude. Fish for dinner for the next 2 weeks. He is talking about the fish he's just caught spearing and not me. Although he does have a weird obsession with me, Wilkie. Stalks me all the time. Leafs down 2-1. What the hell, Mark G? Get down on that ice and tell him Fish said to pick up the game. I'm holding fiat for it, however, when you Crossroads cracking door and Main Street. I don't know what the conversation got onto. LTC looks good. Superheart.org. I think like long term it looks good. I don't know about $1 million, man. 1 billion. Oh, hashes per second. Okay. 1 quadrillion hashes per second. Okay, we'll see. Do you think EOS could be better than Ethereum? I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible for sure, but I don't think so, me personally, no. Because I think EOS is getting bored on the fact that EOS is going up. That's my honest assessment of it. I don't think it's a bad long-term project or anything like that. I just don't understand the level of growth we've seen over the last 2 months. I don't understand it. That I'm aware of, no major announcements have come out. Doesn't that bother anyone else? It's like, no, nothing's coming up really until June next year. And yet the price has just gone berserk. So for me, no, I don't actually. Like, it's going to be an interesting race, Ahmed, and I think they can both survive and prosper long term. I've said that several times. One coin doesn't have to fail for another to succeed. There's room for plenty. We're in a new space, emerging technology. It's like saying that, there's only going to be one gambling website when the internet started. Or one website's going to win it all. There's only going to be one porn site on the whole internet. Which porn site's going to win? That hasn't happened, does it? So I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be a similar sort of thing with blockchain. Sorry to use gambling and porn as the example, but they seem to be two of the key use cases for the internet. So I'm just thinking that, with the app platforms, there are room for more than one of them, which actually brings me to an interesting point. Dubai Coin has taken a real hit. It's one of 3 coins that I'm actually down on since I started investing: District 0x, Dubai Coin, and Chaincoin. Now, Dubai Coin, I bought it around the $7 to $8 mark, ran it up to 10, sold a bit, bought it back at $7 or $8, and now it's ran down to 5 or 6 around that mark. DBIX is the trade code for those interested. But I keep thinking about it, and I keep thinking, you know what? They're going to be the only DApp platform with Arabic programming available that I'm aware of. That's got to be worth something, right? There's got to be some programmers out there proficient only in Arabic programming languages. And what are they going to develop on if they don't have DubaiCoin? So for mine, if you're looking for a low market cap gamble, and I will call it that because it is a low market cap coin, high risk, high reward on this one, guys. But I think DubaiCoin's worth a look. If anyone disagrees, please feel free to put it in the comments. But I know that might not be a super popular one, but I think it's worth a look. Mark G, thanks Ethercept. Yeah, yep, cool. PivX devs are right. Dash privacy is shite. Thanks, Ethercept. Yeah, you know more about that stuff than me, dude. So I'll take your word for it. But they always tell me that. What's the phrase they say that? Oh, it's something like uncertainty is not anonymity or something. So it's like they think it's not real anonymous transactions. Is what they're. I can't remember the exact phrase they use, but it's very clever. I realized BTC surged due to online dark purchases, so it's particularly caused organic price rise due to the demand, right? So we're just betting that other cryptos will be as practical. Yet to hear a Silk Road for other cryptos. Adnan, that's a really good point. That's how crypto really got, initially Bitcoin really got adopted and used, was primarily on Silk Road in illegal trades. No doubt about it. That's how it, I guess, proved its use case as a viable transactor of wealth, peer-to-peer. But it's moved a long way since then, man. It's moved a long way since its dark beginnings. It's come out of the dark web and into the mainstream. Well, not mainstream quite yet, but certainly more mainstream. You've got Bitcoin ATMs now right around the world. We've got a stack coming into Australia soon. So, yeah, I think it's progressed. It's evolved from those days. Absolutely, will not deny that that's where it really got used as that was the test case, if you like, Silk Road and the dark web. But I think a lot of coins are actually really, really trying to get away from that dark web way of thinking, because it's not integratable to the masses when you're talking about doing stuff on dark web. People want it to be transacted to buy their coffee, not their pizza, right, Agent Smith? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Four's an interesting one. It's like a anonymous marketplace, decentralized marketplace, based on PivX, I believe. Rocket's got a quiz crypto question. Paddy Austin said FOMO. Mate, I honestly don't even know what coin you're referring to, Paddy, but seriously, dude, yes is the answer. Either that or panic selling, because emotion is clearly driving this market. Like the swings are way too big for it to be based on anything other than emotion. So yes, FOMO. Fear of missing out for those of you who aren't aware, and panic selling. That's what's driving this market. LTC, superheart.org is a big LTC fan. Rocket said, hey, bro, I tried to get you to look at Bitcoin Plus for me, and you said inflation was 20% every year. I was just wondering, did you happen to notice how small the amount? Yeah, yep. So I'll read that question again because I was kind of skim reading it for myself. Rockets just asked me to have a look at Bitcoin Plus for me, and you said you didn't like it because the inflation was 20% every year. I was just wondering, did you happen to notice how small the amount was? So what Rocket's referring to there is the small overall circulating supply of Bitcoin Plus, and it's about 100,000 coins. When we're talking about the inflation rates, it doesn't matter whether if it had 10 coins and it was going to inflate by 20% per year, it would still be a problem for me, because it's the percentage inflation is not relative to the amount of coins that exist in the first place. So if it's 10 coins inflating by 20%, 100 coins inflating by 20%, a million coins, and so on, it doesn't bother me. 20% is too high. It's not sustainable. No economist in the world would tell you that a country's purchasing power would stay relative to the rest of the world with 20% inflation every year. It just wouldn't happen. You won't be competitive against, like, that's what's happening in Zimbabwe and stuff. It's just that sort of inflation compounding year on year and year on year. So yeah, it's not sustainable. We've seen that in the real world. We've seen plenty of cases of hyperinflation, and they've crippled economies. So yeah, Tan Kai Tong said freaking CryptoKitties and freaking Ethereum. You know, it's interesting. Tan Kai Tong is the they're bringing out those hash puppies for Neo, and so Neo Network's about to get tested by some digital puppies. Guys, I will release a video soon. I'm working on something. It's a bit of a gag about all this. I think you'll enjoy it. For those of you who do enjoy this show, because I muck around. Best ATM in Toronto is 6%, some are 20%. I'm going to smash it with some fiat and buy some Verge. Yeah, I think Verge is a good long-term hold. I've said that for a long time. That's the one. Ethercept. He said uncertainty is not obscurity. That's the difference between PivX and Dash, and that's the one that the developers at PivX quote. That's what they say a lot. Ethercept. So thank you. I don't know if that's common in your field of work, but that's something our devs say, man. Uncertainty is not obscurity. So yeah, that's cool. Hey guys, it's gone on an hour for today. Thanks all for joining in for the conversation. I am going to check out and go and take a rest. I'm pretty tired. I might go down the beach or something. Anyway, the crypto economy is looking strong. Let's have a look at the last hour, as we like to do before we leave. I'll just do a quick update now. See if we've had the fish in Asia effect. But you got to remember, we're moving into weekend trade. It's Saturday morning in Asia, so the big institutional money's probably not in the game right now. Having said that, $543 billion. I think that's crept up $4 billion since we're talking, possibly. Let me just have a look at these last hourlies. Yeah, that's a pretty green last hour. Bitcoin itself has retraced a little, but only 0.15%, and the rest of the market's kicking along. Ethereum 713. It's up another like $10, even $15 since we started just in the last hour. Yeah, it's pretty green, guys. Looking good. Looking really nice. Happy investing for your Saturday. I'll catch up with you tomorrow for a Sunday discussion. And guys, I will get an announcement out about when the Q-Link team will be joining us as soon as I can figure out how to log on to Telegram again. Thanks for joining in. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. See you later. Fish out.